Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, buddy?
Is the Amazing Race, Brian, season 38, episode 9, the Pizza de Resistance. Make sure you like, subscribe to your TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We cover every episode of The Amazing Race, go back multiple seasons. We cover CBS reality, obviously Survivor as well. Plenty of other reality TV that you're into. Check our playlists out, our social media with TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all at The Reality Guys. Look out for different news, content, clips, etc. This whole season, Brian, has been about there's a different amazing race twists that you have to deal with. We've had the double U-turns, we've had these different votes, we've had the fast passes, etc. All of me makes sense. To do a non-elimination, like when there's only five teams left, and that's what they call this twist they have to deal with. Fuck you. Seriously. Like that's BS, Brian. I was responsibly driving, had this on, going over my Bluetooth as I was heading home, and I audibly said that. I can't. So we're talking about the leg, and there's parts we like, didn't like, and the more didn't like on this leg, man. But to end that leg with a non-elimination, unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought it was trash. You can't say that the big twist here. I was expecting something like something we had something new this season, and this is yeah, I'm with you, man. It's really hard to say have anything really to say different than what you said.
It sucks, man. Like we love the Amazing Race. The Amazing Race and our flow of reality TV is supposed to be one of our palate cleansers. We love doing it. We've covered it for years ourselves. We had everyone's covered the show with us in the past. We had Kevin at one point, Waleed, Brett. We've had a million Kyle reviews with this show. We have a lot of fun. Logan, shout out Logan's watching, and it's like I just this episode had no juice, man. And they were going to Naples, they're going to Italy. I was psyched, and it was a no drama leg. Let's go off from the top, right? I mean, am I wrong before I go into the breakdown? I mean, how do you feel the same, right?
Yeah, and I actually we'll get there, but I actually liked some of the challenges today.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. Like, and look, I've always made the joke, like Hunger Games. Like, I want my tribute. I do demand a tribute, a sacrifice every episode. But like, there's no reason, and we'll get to the losers of the leg per se, but like there's no reason that these teams earned another week when some other teams who have gotten eliminated in elimination, like there are a lot of stronger teams that would have deserved, I think, a second leg, a second shot versus who ended up getting the second shot here.
Right, and you like especially what you're saying there is like the first week somebody finished first or ahead of people in one section of a road, whatever it was, the fork in the road, and then
Fork in the
there's like
road.
six people behind them that make it. I mean, and then this team, I just think yeah, like you're saying, that's BS.
Yeah. So we left off. They were in flight. We had our the Expedia stuff is just
That was
ridiculous.
cornball shit.
I'm so sick of watching them with the people with the burner phone. Anyone with only one app on their phone, you wouldn't book a flight with them. Like that's creepy. They do the song and dance. They're going from Sofia to Naples, Italy. That's with the next location. They all are on the same flight. So again, God forbid anything you do a leg before matters. It
Yeah.
doesn't. Uh, Upon arrival, they have to go to the Stazione di Montesanto, and they have to take the funicular, which is kind of just like I guess like a gondola, right, Brian, up to the Castel Saint Elmo. Was unfortunate that we did not actually get Elmo, like real Elmo. I was looking for real Elmo.
Like dressed up in a native clothes.
Or just Elmo. I mean, look, I spent a lot of time watching Elmo. I mean, I'm sure you had a lot of time, so probably still do some Elmo, Brian. And for some of the things we did get, I liked, but I would have liked Elmo. I'm just gonna put it out there.
They
Uh,
had some humor in them.
this was to get the subsequent clue, Brian. They had to go talk to Il Capitano. Il Capitano made sure that he had to every single time do the like, and then there's like five of them standing there, and he takes the next one, he backs up, and he does it again. And I would be like, give me that. Get out of here. Is the race El Capitano. First, I don't get Elmo. Now I got to deal with you. Like that was like I felt like I was playing Oblivion or something. It was like an NPC that did the same thing no matter what.
Speaking of that, is also the pizza or the cheese guy. Yes, everything. You said
I
the
forgot
same
about
thing in the
him.
same tone every single time.
Yes. Well, yeah, we'll get to the cheese, man. They obviously, so you went there, you had to go to the Pulcinella statue, you had to rub the nose of the statue on the Via del Tribunale to get the subsequent clue. This is what brought you to the detour, Brian. You either had mandolin or mozzarella. Mandolin, you had to finish the assembly of the mandolins, basically a bunch of screws, brackets, and then had to pass it off to your teammate to do the stringing of the mandolin. You still work with your teammate, they just couldn't touch it. Or you had to do the mozzarella braids. You had to go there, braid mozzarella, put it between, what was it, like point, what was the weight?
It's like yeah, something
5 and 0.35 or
8
something like
grams.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like 2.5 and 3.5 grams, whatever the hell it was.
yeah.
Something like that. 2.5, 3.5, 25, 35, whatever. Um, I would have went for the mandolin all day.
Yeah, and I actually kind of like the structure of that, where it's like you can't help it, you can't touch it, you know what I mean? And you can't. I actually thought that was a cool thing, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing that more.
I thought that was, I mean, I like that. I like the ones when both can participate, like you said, but you have to have your own
Yeah,
responsibility.
I think that's really cool.
It's like a tandem challenge per se. Uh,
Yeah, I like that.
there wasn't really, I mean, the mozzarella was a little bit of a struggle for everyone, it seemed like. More so, unfortunately, and again, it didn't end up really mattering. Leading into the mandolin and mozzarella, there was a lot of street travel, cab travel this episode, which I liked. Han and Holden, who, Han's supposed to be, or it's Han, right? It's supposed to be like the big navigator, and they get lost for a while. They lose a few positions heading over to the mozzarella.
Yeah,
Um, but it just didn't matter.
yeah. It just takes a lot of like the hindsight of the episode. It kind of
It
sucks.
didn't matter. Yeah, there were no teams that like really went through a huge fiasco in either of these. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, Luis and what was it? Luis was the only one. They were the only ones that did the right by saying the right team that did
Jonathan and Anna?
yeah, John and Anna. Sorry. Think of a different review. Jonathan and Anna were the only ones that did the
Yeah,
man.
the mandolin. Yeah,
And he was cool. He was they had Jonathan Ada had interesting luck here, right, with some of their challenges. So he's a musician, a guitarist, a very apt person to be working on a mandolin. Later on, we get to the roadblock with pizza making, and she had a very perfect skill set for that too, right? So again, I thought these were appropriate. I thought they were relative, I guess you could say relatively fair uh,
hmm,
levels of difficulty. It really, I like when they're different, right? Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
different level of, they both were, had some finesse to them, but like
Mhm.
I said, I don't like when they're basically the same thing. So there weren't two dances. It wasn't two
Yeah,
food
yeah. I'm so sick
challenge.
of them dancing. The pizza one. I mean, like I worked at pizza place. I didn't make pizzas, but I think the pizza one, like, yeah, it's but like the being a musician and like constructing like that stuff, I think is a little more unique than
For sure.
actually doing the pizza. But I mean, it worked out. I mean, we can get when we get there. I just kind of feel like some people were just not learning from their mistakes.
No, and it was interesting to see certain teams, say certain teams struggle when they not, the gamers did not have a great
Yeah.
leg per se, right? They struggled, funny enough, even things like the mozzarella, which pizza making for sure. And I have a gripe when we get to the pizza making thing for him, so we'll get there in a second. But in between that was the grocery delivery task, Brian, which I liked.
I thought it was sweet. I thought
I
it was
like they've done this a bunch now. We know this at least. I mean, we've watched only a handful of seasons compared to some of our fans and stuff, but that's an old school. I think they even did that in season one that we reviewed. They had to go into that flea market, right, Brian? And they had to shop for very specific things with just a list, and that's it, and no real help. And I thought
Yeah,
that
I think that stuff's cool. I mean, that's really like the culture thing of that area. You don't know the language. You have to ask some people for help. I thought it was cool.
they had too
Run
many people
around
help. They
town.
shouldn't be allowed to get help, by the way. I'm sick of them getting help for people with phones. That
Oh
should
no, I
not
agree with you.
be
Enough with the
allowed.
phones need to chill. Like you ask somebody, they tell you, like that's fine.
But they should not be able to pull, like a producer or camera person should be able to say nope, no camera, like no phones, like you know what I mean, like you said. So if like someone wants to point for you,
Like
fine,
they can translate you. I don't think they should be able to Google it and look it up.
show you the map, and then they're like drawing it on their like I don't agree with that. um I don't, I really don't. this was at the just so for note for that for everyone for completionist's sake. The grocery delivery task was at the Vico to Montesanto. Led you over to the roadblock, which was the pizza making. One team member had to craft a margarita pizza from scratch. They didn't have to make the dough; they just had to, spread it out. And I thought they were going to make them do like the toss and everything. I was really looking forward to that, but it turned out
Yeah.
to not be that. It was just them kneading it out into like a personal pizza or a little bit like a medium pizza. Um, I fell for our boy though. So we the gamers. Which one did it? It wasn't Jack. It was
Person.
I fell for listen. I understand Jack was saying that if he did that roadblock, that now they have no flexibility going into the final legs, and he's gonna have to handle all of them. But when you literally say that the dude's one of his biggest weaknesses is cooking, then you just bite the bullet and you use up your last chance and take up the hope for the stop counting your chickens before they hatch, right? Stop thinking about like everything that's going to happen in future legs. Like you got to get to that leg, right? And I think frankly, it showed in kind of their placing too, right? You can put the right people in for the right job because that dude was struggling and that judge gave him, the pizza maker man gave him no room for error.
Awesome judge, by the way, though.
The
Took
pizza.
his job very seriously, and I liked it. Like he's like, this is the child pizza, the brother pizza, whatever. The sister pizza. Funny. I was kind of hoping they'd lose, honestly. Like, did they say it was a non-elimination leg off rip? They didn't say that, right?
No, no, that was
Yeah.
the twist at the end. That's why I
Okay.
screamed
Okay.
while I was driving.
So I was kind of hoping they'd lose. I want to see somebody make a mistake with actual legit consequences.
Consequences. Yep.
And
I 1,000%
and
agree.
I was kind of hoping they go out because like I was kind of getting annoyed at him because it's like they like you said they said that you're gonna make it from scratch. You didn't make it from scratch. It was literally all prepared. Like how you can't see if like I've never made a pizza either, but like I think I could figure it out if I messed up 3 times in a row.
I've made them plenty. It was not hard. I was
It's
getting
not
first of all,
hard.
you didn't even need the flour on the dish. You just got to stop being an idiot and just boom.
Yeah,
It's
shoot
all
it
right.
in.
Just make
Whoever,
it thicker. No matter what, you could always have a little too much dough and have it cook a little longer. But they were making these
yeah,
making these
yeah,
crepes
super skinny
basically.
things and they like break on the like.
They were crepes, Brian. They're pizza. Did you see the one where he had to go in and like get it out? And he just like threw it down to the pizza man. He was disgusted by it.
Yeah, he was probably so mad he's wasting all this dough.
You know, he's like, you're gonna end up leaving this burned shit in my oven. Like, see how tiny these ovens are? These ovens are 800 years old. Like, and you're gonna break them in 5 minutes.
I would really love like if they had like a post challenge interview with the person who like got obviously gets paid for doing this, but like just like in their language, they fucked up my oven, fucked up my brick oven.
Uh, I did like though that they so the pizza place was, by the way, was the Ristorante da Ettore Ezio Altitore da Faenza. Um, gave them their pizza to deliver to the pit stop, which I thought was a fun
That's
touch.
cool. And then the people also not participating, you're just eating pizza.
Yeah, so the soldiers. So they had to go to the pit stop, which was the Castel Nuovo. Teams checked in. It was a big castle in Naples. Everything was big. Everything was Neapolitan, right? Neapolitan. It was the whole this episodes we're gonna call this one, guys. This was Neapolitan nonsense. Because what we ended up finding out, obviously, shout out Jana and Anna. They won the cashback rewards for a trip for two to Mexico City. It's pretty cool. They're gonna go on balloons over the pyramids, go to Lucha Libre, go to some museum, Frida, a museum. Um, but like I said, I guess the only it's like it's hard for me to say, right, Brian? It's because, and again, not that like I haven't liked Han and Holden. I don't have any problems with them per se, but I don't think they're a deserving team to get a second chance when other
No.
teams haven't. However, like I do hope at least next week now. I'm hoping they don't come in last because like I want to have a leg where somebody actually, God forbid, changes position. I hate wire to wire someone in last place, and they weren't technically, but look, they all left that airport basically at the same time, and the
Yeah.
gondolas they missed the first gondola, right, or whatever, and that was like so they were back with the three teams, and then well, they made the first gondola. This is the whole point. It's like they don't deserve it. They really don't. And so we're gonna watch five teams again next week. Try it transparently based on how the season hasn't been great. I was a little bummed, man, because I thought like we had like 2 episodes left. Now we got three.
Yeah, and so like you saw that it said it's like a 2 day like sorry man, why are we watching the Amazing Race 2 days in a row?
So is that next week? So now it's the thing, because you mentioned that last week and we thought it was this week.
Well, somebody, a commenter said it, but I didn't see it. But then I finally saw a commercial for it. It's like,
So next
I
week.
think it's three, dude.
So we got three more episodes. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, why? Why do we have
You
three?
still have five people, so we got to go down to four. Then the next episode will get you down to three, and then the final finale will be three teams. Like it
We should
always.
only have
I
four.
thought we got down to four today, and then I was like about to turn it off, Brian. Because I was like, "Well, I know the order." Thank God I didn't. I was like, I would have came into this review thinking that they got eliminated. That would have been a great review. If I just did this whole review thinking as I turned it off because I was like, well, they're behind. So
Well, they're
once I
still
saw the
here.
gamers finish the pizza, I was like, well, they're not going to catch them. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, man, I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what sucks about it, man? Just knowing that next season is Big Brother people, it just kind of like you kind of are hoping for something like really good, and it's just not been the best. And then you're just gonna hit me with all Big Brother people next season, and I'm just gonna be miserable the entire time.
everyone, by the way, like, Mario Party reference. There's plenty of pizza games. There's the Eats a Pizza where you and your teammate got to eat the pizza. There's another one where it's Pizza Me Mario, Mario Party 9. Don't say we didn't give you N64 reference. To be fair, we haven't even given it a full episodes, all the episodes. That's when Logan catches up to the reviews for the Tar Story and blog. We will go back and do the lost episodes, which literally had a foot race. I screamed for foot races, and God forbid one week you don't want to do Amazing Race because you got eight other shows. We get a foot race,
And today we have non-elimination.
but we do it today, and I do it in my car and try to be on top of my shit. It's like a non-elimination. Like the world's funny. The
Bill
world,
risks his life to watch this
I
show.
literally, like, I definitely buffered a few times, and I'm like, "What the f?" You know, I'm clicking on it on the turnpike, and then like, yeah, and then like, then we got the guy, our buddy, we interview about Deal or No Deal Island. It turns out he's like, "You guys didn't finish the reviews." I'm like, "Mother, yeah, I know, okay, like, thank you. You're one of the 60 people that were watching it,
You know what?
apparently."
And I appreciate that though. I
I
want to
did. It was funny.
somebody. Yeah, people are allowed to give us crap. I mean, we give enough people crap on these shows, and we'll take. I mean, I promise you that we won't.
No, we don't take it personally. So if you're like, "Yo, where's a
If you're
review?"
joking around,
You
obviously,
can
if
tell us. Yeah, I might
you
just
want to
tell you
fight, we'll
like, "Well,
fight.
my baby won't edit." So.
Yeah, if you want to fight, we'll fight. But jokes are in
But
here.
if you want to, what we won't fight with you about, because you'll be wrong, is that this was a good outcome, good episode. Non-elimination legs are bullshit, especially this far in the game when they literally, I guess it's last season. I guess it was last season that they promised no non-elimination legs. I guess they technically never promised that this season, those shifty fucks.
I don't think I'm gonna bleep you.
No, it's okay. I don't care anymore. Make sure though, honestly, like, subscribe. We do enjoy covering these shows for the most part. It's just been a couple bad legs here. If you are a Survivor fan somehow still, we are covering Survivor 48 to the bitter end. We're now what, Brian, to the Brian final seven. Now down to seven after tonight. Uh,
Yeah, I'll do. I don't
we'll
know.
do
Yeah, I'll
something.
probably do
We'll
this.
do something at some whatever. That's like I wish we could just do it on TikTok. Like I mentioned, we have an interview of our buddy Deal or No Deal Island, Philip.
Hmm.
Check out, like I said, the other interviews and our reviews of Million Dollar Secret. If you're a Bravo fan, we are reviewing Summer House right now. We just finished up the Southern shows, Hospitality and Charm. Like Netflix, we listen. There's just everything. Go check the playlist out, guys. Like you guys, if you're Amazing Race people, you're chilling with us at this point. You know what we do. We really appreciate you telling a friend, though. Every little subscriber counts. We're chipping away and doing good, so we'd appreciate any community support. But until next week, and hopefully a better leg for myself and Brian, thank you so much for watching. Peace.